Here we are again on day 10, and what we're talking about is action of how we do things. What's the cause and effect of what we do? So, one of the biggest thoughts here is to really acknowledge and look at your patterns and the things that you are seeing yourself do over and over again that might not be serving you, and noticing how those patterns have an effect on you. So even in the whole 21 days, what you're experimenting with is the idea about changing a pattern and being much more aware of yourself in this world right now. So take a look at that for one moment. Think about that. Changing a pattern. What pattern might you want to change today? Or look at what is one of the ones that you do that constantly kind of like, oh, there's that thing again, whether it's a thought pattern, a late pattern, an eating pattern, a communication pattern. So it's how we respond to what we're noticing that matters. And it's the response, not the reaction to something. So here's the message. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. So if you're noticing some of your patterns today, I wonder how you will respond to those patterns instead of react. Okay, so that's something to consider. When we get a bunch of information about ourselves, some of it we don't like, but I want you to notice how you respond to that in a supportive, loving way, because we're coming again from the baseline of ourselves, from the love that we have for ourselves, from the relationship we have for ourselves, so that we can take a look at some of these things in life and consider them differently. I wonder what you will discover. My afterthoughts about the day 10 was the thought of patterns is to also think about the connection that your patterns have to your body. And this also reminds me of some of what I've talked about in the before, which has to do with boundaries and coming from how things feel in your body, getting that information and doing something with that. Like that's your telltale sign. Like your body doesn't lie. So if you have a pattern of, let's say, um, you don't eat in the morning and it's not the fasting thing, it's just that you don't, and you notice that you get sort of hangry midday and your thoughts just go negative. So some of what you might want to think about in terms of that pattern is feeling it in your body when you start doing it and asking yourself, could you do something else at this moment? And then noticing the effect that that had on your rest of your day. So we have lots of concepts in there that we've been reviewing over and over again, which is the giving, receiving. Yourself is the core, the detachment to the end, and being able to respond to what's going on with you instead of react. Respond and try something else. Develop another habit, develop another thought pattern.